Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on Supergirl Season 3. So this is going to be my trailer breakdown for Episode 5, otherwise entitled Damage. But obviously before we go ahead, let's actually watch the trailer.
So this is what your revenge looks like. Whoever was responsible for this, they deserve to die. No trial, no jury, just erased from the world.
That's disappointing. You wanted to be a hero so bad. Now people are gonna die.
Supergirl, all new episode Monday at 8, 7 Central on the CW.
So going by the trailer, it looks like we are going to be having a pretty like a Lena Luthor centric episode with some other storylines alongside of it. Now towards the end of last episode we did see some more rain related setup, which was awesome, and it will be interesting whether we see more of that in this episode or, you know, they might take a break from that. Plus the whole Sanvers relationship issue I think is meant to come to a head in this episode. But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see play out. Now before we actually break down the actual trailer, we will quickly go over the synopsis. It's a pretty large one, which is surprising, but yeah, we'll go over that just so we have a better idea of what's going on in this episode. But of course, do let me know in the comments section down below what you're thinking of this episode, what are you looking forward to, what do you think is going on with some certain storylines. And of course, if you do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. When multiple children get sick from lead poisoning, Morgan Edge points the finger at Lena and blames her creation of the lead bomb she made to save National City from the Daxamites. While Lena knows she never intended any harm, she fears there may have been a flaw in her design, leaving her responsible. Kara teams up with Samantha to clear Lena's name, but it turns out to be harder than they thought. Meanwhile, Alex and Maggie make a crucial decision about the future of their relationship. Now, one quick fun fact to go over just before we go into the other stuff. This episode will actually be directed by Kevin Smith. This is his third Supergirl episode that he's directing, and he will be filming his third Flash episode, might I say, in I think early January. So yeah, he's pretty involved in the DC TV stuff. But the trailer actually starts off with us seeing Alex and Kara, or Supergirl, next to this prisoner transport bus. Now you actually do see a decent amount of shots of this in the trailer. Now what I think actually is going on here is that this is like the opening scene to the episode. Well, that's my prediction at least. That's what they sometimes do. They'll make something look very relevant in the trailer, and then, you know, when you get to the actual episode, it's just like a big action scene. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case, just because we know that this episode is going to be very Lena Luthor orientated. So would they really focus on a storyline with the prisoners and like Supergirl getting involved with it? So I think this is like the opening scene, or somewhere towards the beginning. Now obviously, as the synopsis did say, we have Morgan Edge coming back. Obviously he was from episode 1, and in episode 1 we saw Supergirl chuck him on a like a container transport ship. So yeah, I wonder how long it took for him to get, you know, rescued off of that. But in episode 1, he was obviously not a fan of Lena, and that sort of just continues on into what we're seeing in this episode. So he's trying to get revenge on Lena essentially by, you know, pointing the finger in regards to these different incidents involving lead poisoning, which, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. In regards to that lead poisoning, we do see Ruby, or Samantha's daughter, friend, like drop down in front of school. Obviously, it does say that children are the ones getting affected by this lead poisoning. Now obviously the lead incident from last season was blamed for this, so the whole thing to get rid of the Daxamites, because obviously like how Kryptonians have kryptonite, which is like their weakness, Daxamites have lead, so all that lead was let into the atmosphere to get them off our Earth. Now due to this, Lena is in trouble because she was the one that came up with this design. It was pretty rushed, like she didn't get a lot of time to, you know, make it, even though it was already a design. It's not like she had like the flexibility of a lot of time to like nail it down, so she was in a bit of a rush. But regardless of that, like there is still people getting affected by this, so it is still would be her problem if she is the one responsible for it. Now I do actually like how they're having this nice connection to last season, because really they did let lead into the atmosphere, so you think there would be consequences. Like even doing like the smallest thing can have a consequence, so something big like that, you would expect there to be consequences. Now I actually don't think Lena is responsible for these lead poisonings. I think someone else is, most likely Morgan Edge, like how he had in episode 1, how he had Bloodsport doing stuff for him. It wouldn't surprise me in this episode if Morgan Edge had someone else doing some lead related activities, and then he's taking advantage of this and then pointing the finger at Lena to try and get her in trouble. Now we actually do see a person holding a gun here, and if you look at the right, you can see like an L core, essentially like protest sort of sign. So I'm assuming this is a parent of a child, maybe? You just have to connect the dots and say that is what it is, or just a concerned citizen. But yeah, I wonder if that gun is being held at Lena Luthor. You would have to think so if L Corp is being protested against. But yeah, so hopefully, Lena's wearing a bulletproof vest of some sort. Now, obviously, we've been talking about Lena a lot, and that's going to continue on here because it should be a big episode for Lena Luthor. Obviously, Supergirl this season has been a bit darker, but this episode looks like it is going to be a, darker Lena, because it does look like she is going to not be taking too much crap from Morgan Edge. We do see her holding a gun up to him at some point in the trailer. It does look like she's going to get down and dirty in this episode. I have been wondering, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have been wondering as well, whether Lena Luthor will stay a good guy on the show, or she'll eventually go down a darker route. Obviously, we know she's involved with Samantha this season, and Samantha's inevitably going to become Rain. So will Lena go down with Rain and become, a bit of a darker, more evil character? That's something we'll have to see. But from what we've seen in this trailer, she is trying to do the right thing. It's just sometimes she uses darker methods to do the right thing. Now, one of the big moments in this trailer is when we see this plane crashing. It's really hard to get a grip on what's going on here. I guess one of the big questions you can ask though is whether Lena is actually on the plane or not. You do see her lying down, but it's hard to tell whether she's on the plane or not, or if it's just some other scene they've just edited it that way to make it look like she is on the plane. But I'm not too sure what's going on here. You think Supergirl would be the one that comes and saves this, but who knows. Now, one thing that actually isn't in the trailer but is in the synopsis and is being like a big focal point or a big, point of concern about this episode is the Sanvers stuff, or the Alex and Maggie relationship. It's not in the trailer. It's slightly in the synopsis, but not really that much. Like, it's right at the end. So I'm wondering how much they're going to focus on that in this episode, because as I said, I think this is the episode where they end it, and this is the last episode that Maggie Sawyer is in the show. So the fact that it's a very Lena Luthor orientated episode, there does seem to be other stuff going on as well. It makes you wonder how much time they're going to focus on that, because they have spent a lot of time on that in season 2, setting it up. And it does seem like in this season, it's been one of those things where it's like a negative for the season because of what's happened with the actress and stuff like that, how she's leaving the show. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they wrap it up on this episode, because it just doesn't seem like they're going to have a lot of time. I actually wouldn't mind if they spent if they had a, almost like a filler episode essentially, had half of it as a random mission for Supergirl and the DEO, and then the other half or a third of the episode is Alex and Maggie sorting it out, because you need proper storytelling. So hopefully it's not rushed. Hopefully it makes sense, because it would just feel like a waste of time from the previous season if this just ended abruptly. Now, one other thing, the last thing I want to mention before we end the video, this wasn't mentioned in the trailer, it's not in the synopsis. People were just talking about it in the comment section for my review yesterday, and people are saying that Lena is going to start going out with James Olsen. This is the first time I've heard of it. I don't know, tell me if that's correct. It wouldn't surprise me if that is, but people were saying that this is the start of a Lena Luthor arc where she gets a bit darker, goes down, and then starts dating James or something. I don't know if that's true. Let me know if that is in the comment section down below. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support for the video and the channel as a whole. Let me know in the comment section down below what are you looking forward to most from this episode, and basically anything else I asked in the video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.